Welcome back, Stassa 23 here, back again with some knife therapy, and today I am going to be sharpening this Leon Ma Cuff EDC 3-inch in LMAX steel. I'm going to be using the Work Sharp Precision Adjust Sharpener, and this is the Elite system with the extra stones. Before I get started, I always take a Sharpie and color the secondary bevel in. And the reason I do that is so I can see where my stones are hitting from the setting I put. If I'm not reaching all the way to the apex, I raise the angle up. If I'm just hitting the apex and not the back part of the shoulder, I raise it down. So let's see where we're at right here. I am on 22 degree spot on here. And I use the ceramic when I'm first getting started so I don't make any deep gouges. That'll be harder to get out later. And I kind of have an idea, because I've sharpened this knife before on the KME. Let's see. All right, I'll take it out of here. And let's see. As you can see, I pulled off pretty much all of it. And I'm happy with that. So now put it back in here. And we will swap to the 220. And we're going to use this until we're going to go on this side till we pull a burr. Then we'll flip it over and do the same on the other side. So let's get a burr real quick. I'm just doing the up and down strokes to save time so this video is not an hour long. If y'all like this video, y'all let me know. I might do some more. I just don't do a whole lot of sharpening videos because I'm definitely not a professional. There's people way better than me. I don't really find myself that great of a sharpener. I can get sharp edges, but I don't know. Mine don't always come out super sharp. I usually tend to rush because I'm using my knives. So I like to listen for the feedback you're getting from the stones to the steel. Once you start pulling a burr, it makes a different sound. You'll get used to it the more knives you sharpen. I usually, whenever you have brand new stones like these, I would sharpen a few beater knives first because they tend to be pretty aggressive in the beginning. So it feels like I got a burr along the whole edge. Let's see. So as you can see, there's no like shiny spots where I missed. And let's see. Yeah. Got a burr all the way down that side. And we'll do the same with this one. And then we'll move on to the next grit. Basically, you're setting your bevel. Now, if you were going to be reprofiling the edge, that's, a little different. When you're reprofiling, you choose your angle. If you want to say it's the factory edge was sharpened at 20 degrees, but you like a 15 degree bevel, then set it to 15. And you just got to do it until all the sharpener is removed and you can feel a burr on the back side. See, I only feel a burr up here in the front. And I'm getting close. I'm listening for the change in sound. But right now, back here, it just sounds like, regular grinding of metal. But up here, it's a different sound. Something that you'll start hearing it after a while. I know I did not hear what they were talking about in the beginning, but now I do. I'm about to zoom in a little bit so y'all can see a little better. All right, let's see. Hopefully that's a little better. Once I pull a burr and go on to the next grit, I'll probably do, these type of strokes, just the forward strokes. I mean, you can get a sharp edge whichever way you want to go, but you tend to get a little bit keener of an edge with just, either back strokes away from the edge is usually the best. All right, pull the burr completely on that side. Now I'm going to set up for the next grit. Alrighty, I swapped from 220 to 320. This time I'm going to add a little bit of water to my stones just to keep the diamond dust down so it's not getting all on my pivot. You could also tape that off if you like, but I'm not really worried about it. This is a user knife. Let's see that sound. That's the sound of fresh stones. When they're fresh like this, I would recommend doing these away strokes like this so you don't scratch up the shoulder of your knife. It's one thing that kind of bugs me about the system is depending on how you're holding it, it can squeak on you. I might be doing something wrong, so it's probably not the system, it's probably me. I can hear it changing, especially in the back right here. I'm just using pretty much the weight of the stone. Let the diamonds do their work. You don't need to put any pressure or no crazy pressure. I mean, you can put a little bit of pressure, but the more pressure you put, the quicker you wear out your stones. And I had the original version of this before they came out with this elite or upgrade kit. And it was probably my most recommended budget sharpener out there. Just hard to beat. I had a Lansky, I've had a Gatco, I've had a few different systems. And out of the budget systems, this one by far is my favorite. The repeatability and the precise angle and ease of holding that angle compared to like the Lansky. In my opinion, it's night and day. You can hear the difference when I come up right here. Let's see. I'm going to wipe that edge down. I'm feeling on this side first to see if I have any remaining burr. And does not feel like that. Yep, I got a burr on this side as well. So I'm going to go through the grits. And if you're trying to achieve a mirror polish, you're going to want to always remove, when you go to the next grit, you're always going to want to remove the scratch pattern from the previous grit. If you don't do that, you will never have that perfect mirror polish. I don't tend to care about that. I just want a nice sharp knife. Sometimes I bring it to a mirror. We're going to take this one all the way through all the grits and the strops just to see what it produces, but I can promise you it'd probably look even better if I took my time. So I might show a little bit more of this part of it, and we will go toward the end because I don't want this video to be super long. One easy way, if you want to make it easy to tell if you completely got all the scratches from the previous grit out, if you sharpen in this side and you go this way with this grit, so your scratches are going in this direction. Well, whenever you go to the next grit, start from this side and go this way. So whenever you don't have any more lines going in this direction, then you know you got all the scratches out. And I push that burr over. All right, I'm gonna swap over and I'm gonna go through. I'll probably, whenever I get to the finer grits, I'll start it back up. All right, I just got to the fine set of the triad braces with the ceramic stones on it. I'm on the 600. I went ahead and put a Sharpie mark back on there just to make sure, you want to make sure this is still hitting at that same angle, that something's not off or something. I just do that once, and whenever I see that it pulled the entire Sharpie off with the first pass, I then don't worry about it again. something I meant to say earlier. When you get to this tip area, you have, skinny stones. You want to be very careful and mindful to, when you get right there, to kind of put a little, not a bunch, but enough pressure that way, because you don't want this to roll off the end or slide off, because you'll end up blunting your tip. You want to keep it nice and crisp. When I rush, I tend to do that. And just be careful right there. You don't ever want to rush that tip if you want to keep your tip. I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I'm rushing, I don't care at all, because it's usually a knife that I'll be, using pretty hard anyway, and I'll be sharpening it not long from then. Whenever I moved on to these finer grits, I decided to do pass, flip, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm trying to minimize that burr. And then once we get up to the strops, I will do some light stropping to try to refine that burr even more, and we'll see where that edge is at. I'll probably shut it off here because I'm not doing anything different. I get, my pressure gets lighter and lighter, as I progress through the stones, because you're trying not to create any more scratches. Right now, it's a good, nice toothy edge, and I would have probably left it at that if I wasn't, doing this for the video to try to see how their finer grits perform and what the edge will look like. Like I said, you could get a better edge than I'm going to show you if you want to take the extra time and really make sure you get every one of those previous scratches out. I'm not going to do that for time's sake, and it just doesn't really matter to me. If I wanted to put a mirror polish on it, I'd probably just go to my wicked edge. That's not really what I'm looking for. This is a user knife that I want to get sharp, but you can definitely get a sharp edge with this system by far. And one hack you can do with this system, that if you want to take, once you get to the strop, if you want it to have more of a polish than that, you can buy some 3M PSA diamond film. What is it? I think it's just, diamond film, 3M diamond lapping film. I'm sorry. You buy that and stick it to your ceramic stone. They have some that are already pre-cut for like Wicked Edge, and for the KME, you can get those, or just get the sheet and cut it out yourself. That's what I did in the beginning, if you want to bring that polish up even more than what the system allows. So we're going to shut it off here, and I'll bring y'all back when I get to the stropping. Alright, I'm on my last couple passes with the ceramic stone. One thing I recommend, I find it just gives you a much keener edge, is if you were doing the scrubbing motion before you got to here, whenever you get to the ceramic, recommend doing single stroke like that in a sweeping motion, especially if you're going for the polished edge. Not as important with the toothy edge, but either sweeping like that or starting from the top going down. That going down's probably even better, but it just feels weird to me, so I go up in a way. When I go down, it just feels awkward. But down, I would think it probably is a little better for you, because you're pushing the braces down, not into the edge. Not, I don't know if that really makes a difference or not, but I've always finished mine off with the ceramic. Finished it off by sweeping passes, one each side, light pressure, just basically the weight of the stone. You're just kind of refining that burr. It's like this, and you're trying to pull it closer and closer. And then just the opposite, the way I'm doing it here, whenever I swap to the strop, you're gonna go down only because you don't want to cut into your strop. Not the end of the world if you do, unless you completely gouge it or something. But you know, you definitely want to go down and away. In a second, I'll show you. I'll be right back. All right, now I'm on to the green strop. Like I said, you start from the top up here and work your way down. Another thing that I do that may not be necessary, but I know on the Wicked Edge they tell you to do this. If you're at 20 degrees, they tell you to go up a degree, sometimes 2, because the leather is very soft and you don't want it to end up wrapping around that edge and rolling your edge around. So I put a little bit of Sharpie at the edge of that, do a couple of light passes, and make sure that I'm not, removing that really easily. And it looks like I'm fine. You definitely want to use light pressure because, like I said, you're already dealing with soft leather. So if you push too hard, it's going to end up wrapping around that edge. I already made a mistake that, made me want to throw the knife across the room. I was going to change stones and it slipped out of my hand and fell like this. And I think it put a little ding in the edge, my freshly done edge. But it's life. It'll still work the same. We'll find out when we're done stropping. Back out. What I'd like to see is some kind of like ball, or I don't know, some like water spot right here where I can hold it easier. I don't love holding it right there, but I guess being that the stone's a lot narrower, I guess that kind of helps keep the weight distributed into the middle. So I don't know. But other than that, I mean, those are just straight nitpicks. The system as it is, I think is awesome. I love the fact that I have a carrying case now. You get that with the Elite or the upgrade kit, because I never knew where to put my system at. I used to keep it in a cabinet and I'd forget it's there. So overall, I love the system, and I'm going to do some cutting for y'all. Let me pull this out of the vise and I'll do some cutting and see what this edge is like. All right, this is the edge. After I'm done, you definitely could get a decent polish with this system. God, it's hard to show because my lighting is no good in here. But until the stones break in, it's going to be difficult. I mean, I still got a decent little polish to it. I would have had to spend a lot more time and really making sure I got all the scratches out from the previous grit. I knew that. Like I said, I wasn't really going for a polish, but I mean, as you can see, you got somewhat of a mirror in there. It's not perfect. You still can see some scratches in there. But for somebody looking for a mirror polish, once your stones are broken in, if you really take your time, you can get a decent little polish. And you take it further with some lapping films, diamond lapping films. But let's see. This is the true test for me. Woo-wee. Nice. Listen to that. Hardly no resistance. Wow. All right, let's see if it's push cutting. And I was correct. I do have a little ding in the edge. I'm so mad at myself from dropping the stone on it, but it's nothing major. Let's see. Is it push cutting? Oh, yeah. 90-degree push cut. Nice. 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 Yep. Along the entire edge, it is smoking sharp. Very nice. So there you go. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them down below. I hope everybody's having an awesome day, and if you were on the fence about it, I'd say definitely do it. It's a pretty sweet system for a great price. All right, guys and girls, hope everybody's having an absolute wonderful day. I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.